Imagine this. Your favorite multinational just got caught cooking the books.
Can be no other logical reason. They were a tax avoidance and tax evasion service. They knew full well that people come to them to dodge their tax liability.
Running shady shell companies. Or inflating numbers just to make Wall Street smile.
The Bank of England is racing to arrange a rescue before the Tokyo stock market opens in a few hours' time.
Normally, the company shrugs, blames a few bad apples, pays a fine, and gets right back to business. But in the UK, that game might finally be over. Because as of 2025, a brand new law has come into force. The Failure to Prevent Fraud Act. And this one? It could put entire corporations on the hook for the dirty tricks of their employees. So, what exactly is this law? In short, if a company profits from fraud committed by its employees or associates, and it can't prove it had strong systems in place to prevent it, the company itself is guilty. Not the junior trader, not the rogue accountant, not just the intern shredding documents at midnight. The company. For decades, corporations dodged accountability by pinning everything on low-level staff. Now, prosecutors don't have to chase every individual fraudster. They can charge the business directly. And here's why it matters. The UK has a bit of a reputation problem. For years, London was known as a financial hub and a safe haven for dirty money. From Russian oligarchs parking billions in property, to massive banking scandals that somehow never seemed to stick to the CEOs in charge. This law is meant to change that narrative. It forces companies, especially the giants in banking, tech, energy, and pharma, to actually prove they're fighting fraud inside their own walls. And if they can't, they could face unlimited fines. Yes, unlimited. Let's put it into perspective. Think of cases like Barclays and LIBOR rigging.
Britain's anti-fraud investigators are to look into the LIBOR interest rate rigging scandal. The Serious Fraud Office probe comes after Barclays chief executive Bob Diamond resigned over his bank's role in the manipulation of the interbank lending rate. The SFO says that it will decide within a month whether to bring criminal charges against Barclays and other banks. At the same time, Reuters reported the German markets regulator has launched an investigation into possible LIBOR wrongdoing at Deutsche Bank.
Traders manipulating interest rates that affected global markets. Tesco's accounting scandal. Inflating profits by hundreds of millions to please investors.
It's a case that has everything except an arrest.
HSBC.
Or HSBC's money laundering failures, where billions from drug cartels slipped through the cracks. In the past, these cases ended with settlements, some fines, and a few scapegoats. But under the new law, the entire corporate entity could be nailed for failing to prevent fraud. That's a game changer. So how are big companies reacting? They're scrambling. Law firms are reporting a surge in corporations rushing to put fraud prevention programs in place. Compliance officers, usually ignored at board meetings, suddenly have real power. And executives, they're worried. Because now, ignorance is no defense. A CEO can't just say, "Oh, I had no idea my people were doing this." That excuse doesn't fly anymore. Of course, not everyone's convinced this will fix corporate crime. Critics argue that unless the UK actually prosecutes big names, not just small firms, the law could be toothless. And let's be real, history hasn't exactly shown regulators to be fearless lions, more like house cats, batting at the occasional mouse, while the elephants run free. But even the possibility of massive fines has corporate lawyers sweating. and that alone could change how fraud is handled behind closed doors. And here's the bigger picture. Other countries are watching. If the UK shows this law works, it could set off a chain reaction. The US, the EU, even Asian markets could follow with their own failure to prevent fraud-style laws. For global corporations, that's a nightmare, because it means the old strategy, spreading liability across dozens of shell companies in different countries, won't shield them anymore. So what does this all mean? For once, the rules of the game might be changing. The billion-dollar scams, the cooked books, the shady deals. They might actually cost corporations more than just a wrist-slap fine. Of course, laws are only as strong as the people enforcing them. But if the UK sticks to this, some of the biggest companies in the world could finally be forced to clean house. This is Backdoor Billions. Subscribe for more stories they tried to bury.